You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Alan Lee, Reza Riffs. We're back, baby, on Zoom.
Sorry, I did that song.
How you doing, Alan Lee?
How are you? This is satanic.
Yeah.
This is okay. But this is a follower of Satan. When they do this shit, you see any celebrity does, then don't say a word about this on the podcast. A lot of people get...
Wait, we're recording.
Oh, okay. Well, well, I don't want to hurt it. Listen, I don't know where these people come from, bro. So I'm just protecting you and protecting me.
Don't say anything about the podcast. What? We're recording. Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Well, it's too late.
Yeah.
I defend my position. This sign, your index finger and your little finger.
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. You know what?
That's how Spider-Man shoots his webs.
That's how Satan shoots his webs. Don't act like you're all, I don't know, it's Spider-Man. Don't fuck with me, man.
I see you're eating oatmeal. For the folks at home, Alan Lee's eating oatmeal.
I'm not eating fucking oatmeal. This is chopped up cauliflower.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Well, guys, subscribe, rate, and review to the show on Apple Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Reza Riffs. We have a great show today. It's going to be fun. You've seen her in movies like Eating Out, which is not a porno, believe it or not. We'll have her talk about it. She was also in a movie called When a Killer Calls, which I actually saw. And the movie Bro, What Happened with Jamie Kennedy and Bobby Lee. She's also the wife of my manager, Dante. And we're going to have the great Rebekah Kouchan on.
Great.
Yeah. She's not here yet, but we're just doing the intros for the show. But man, hey, did you see that new Mortal Kombat trailer?
No.
It's pretty fucking awesome, dude.
I love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Not better than Tekken Tag.
Mortal Kombat, man. That holy Lord.
You play the game?
Yeah, I play the game. Which one was your favorite Mortal Kombat? Like, who was your favorite combat?
Believe it or not, the regular hero in there.
Liu Kang?
Yeah, that's right. Luke. Love him. He's on mobile. It's on your phone. You can get the app on your phone.
Yeah. You're a big playing mobile games on your phone type of guy.
Too much.
Yeah.
I'm a complete addict.
How come you don't play them on like a system like Xbox or PlayStation?
I do.
You just prefer the phone?
No, you just have caught me playing on the phone because I tell you one thing, that Call of Duty, I should not have downloaded that. Dear God.
Which one did you download?
I just loaded it onto my new iPhone. The mobile Call of Duty. Dear God, that fucking thing. It's like the regular platform.
Yeah.
God, I think it's awesome. You ever play Call of Duty?
I've played it. I'm not a big fan. My dad got he got a PlayStation when I used to go visit him in the summer, and Call of Duty was like one of the games he played. And it reminded me of Saving Private Ryan. You know, the scene where they go on the beach?
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that beach. So I was like, let's just play Kingdom Hearts or something.
I love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's a free roam with the Disney characters. Holy shit.
Yeah. That was my favorite game. I liked Donald Duck and Goofy.
Oh, like the voice of Goofy like we had on the show.
Bill Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I wrote? I wrote to get Frank Walker on. He voices Scooby-Doo and all that.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah.
Love Scooby-Doo.
So if we could get him, that'd be cool, man. You know, you could be like, "Hey, Scooby-Doo."
No, what we need to do is we need to get every cartoon voice. You need to get every cartoon voice we can on the show.
Who else voices cartoons that you know?
Toy Story. All those guys.
Oh, like Tom Hanks?
Yeah, we get Tanks. We get
We just say, hey, we don't want to interview Tom Hanks, the actor. We want to interview Tom Hanks, the voice actor.
correct.
Holy Lord. We don't care about Castaway or Forrest Gump. We just care about Toy Story.
Fuck Forrest Gump. I hear that goddamn life's a box of. You know what? Someone tried to fuck with me here in the hood. You know how I get a little bit angry sometimes?
Uh-huh.
You know what I said to him? I said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, motherfucker.
Rebecca just texted me for the Zoom link, so I'm resending it to her. I could have sworn I sent it to her.
Yeah, sure. If you'd stop drinking,
I don't drink.
maybe be able to send the links to the people and have to cover for your ass.
Wait, what?
No, you know, like the lottery I got that day for you. The lottery ticket, remember? It was kind of like a bottle with the lottery ticket in it at the at the 7-Eleven. I got
Remember
it.
that?
Yeah.
I think Rebecca.
Yeah.
Hey, Rebecca.
It says Leia.
I know.
Who is that?
Hey, Rebekah Kouchan. How are you?
Oh my
Hi,
god!
good. How are you?
Doing good. It threw me off because it said Leia. I was like, who's Leia?
Leia. It said Leia?
Yeah.
On the screen, it says Leia.
Yeah. Is that your alter ego?
No. Oh, you know what? It's a weird, confusing thing. Oh shoot, and I'm on my phone. I don't know how that happened. Oh well. Does it matter?
No, it's cool. Cool.
Those are my cousins, and I meant to switch it, but I didn't.
Okay. As long as I'm talking to the right Rebecca, that's all I care about.
Well, I hope so. We'll find out.
So, Alan Lee, this is Rebecca. Rebecca, this is the one and only Alan Lee.
Yep. Well, one and only is right. He met me at the contest there at the Italian place. What's wrong with me blanking out here?
You look familiar. I do remember meeting you. Yes, it's Sal's.
Sal's.
Yeah.
I actually complimented you on your taste in shoes.
Oh, why, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Pumps that were like just amazing. They were art pieces.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't worn anything besides like Crocs in 10 months. So that'll be weird someday to wear regular shoes again.
Oh my God.
Now, speaking of Sal's, right now you guys are doing the comedy contest on Zoom. What's that like compared to doing it at a live venue?
When we knew that we had to do it on Zoom this year, obviously I was like, oh, it's so disappointing because normally people fly in from all over the country and it's really cool and you get to meet all these new people and it's really fun because like the energy in the room is really, really high. You know what I mean? But this has actually been just as fun because people can come in. People have been coming in internationally. We've had people from Africa, people from Thailand, like people literally from all over the world have been able to compete. And also the audience votes, which is different than it would be as if, because normally when we do it live, we have a panel of judges, but online now the audience votes at the end of every show and people really seem to like that. So it's been great. And the final or the semi starts tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So semis are tonight and tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then finals are next week. And you can go to eventbrite.com and get tickets. Shameless plug. I apologize. I'm sorry. I should have said that.
Go ahead.
Shameless plug. To where? Yes. No. We gotta plug that stuff. Right. So you have now. I know that you're married to Dante. But how come your last name's not Rebekah Kouchan?
Well, I decided I didn't want to take his last name because to me personally, that feels like an outdated practice. To each their own.
Right.
And also, I already have a complicated last name that no one ever can pronounce or spell correctly. And I figure, why switch it for another last name that no one can spell or pronounce correctly? You know what I mean? I feel like that would be just super stupid. So I just figured, nah, I'm keeping my last name.
Yeah. For the folks at home, I was making a joke. That's not how you say Dante's last name. I don't even know how to say it. I just
it's Rushalelli. I know it's really long and complicated, but it's Dante Rushalelli. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you guys meet? Because you've been doing this contest for 13 years. Has it been 13 years?
Well, I've been with him for 13 years. Dante started this. This contest has actually been going on for 17 years, believe it or not.
Holy Lord.
I know. This is the 17th year, and I've been doing it with him for 13 years because that's when I met him. So, yeah, so he and I have been together for 13 years. We've been married for 2.5 years. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah. I got invited to the wedding, but I had to cancel because I had a feeling COVID was going to come around.
Right. And you were right.
Like, it's funny how, like, out of everyone who knew about this, Bill Gates was the one who knew it all. You know what I mean?
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
I was just like,
Did he really?
Yeah, but that's what he claims. But it's like, how come Bill Gates knows all this stuff?
You're doing that conspiracy thing again.
Are you a big conspiracy believer, Rebekah?
No, I am definitely not. But if you are, good for you. Whatever. Tell me, I have heard loosely of this Bill Gates knowing everything though, but I don't know too much about it.
Well, all I know about Bill Gates is he made Windows and all, that's how he got famous or whatever. And now he's saying that he called the coronavirus was going to happen and no one believed him, and then it happened. So now everyone believes him, which is very ironic.
Did he even say coronavirus? Did he just say like a global pandemic is going to hit and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention because I was too busy trying to win this contest.
Oh, what is? I love those segues.
So, Rebekah, where did you start your entertainment journey from? Like, because I know you were born or you lived in Vegas for a while, right?
I raised in Vegas, and I lived there until I was 17. So I started acting when I was like 9. I've been acting for a long time, and I actually started doing dinner theater on the Las Vegas Strip illegally when I was 13. Wow. So I have been working in the entertainment industry for a long time, for literally my entire life.
Wait, what do you mean illegally? Like explain that.
You're not supposed to. Well, I mean, like, it's illegal for a 13-year-old to work on the Las Vegas Strip. But this woman that was hiring me was like, "Oh, if anyone asks, just say you're 21." It was dinner theater. It wasn't like I was stripping or anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it was still not legal, but I did it, and yeah, there you go. I was able to make some money as a child.
Now, did your family know about this, that you were doing this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So how is that illegal if they're giving you permission?
I still think it's illegal for 13-year-olds to be working on the Las Vegas Strip in any capacity. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I just know I went for a commercial when I was 8, and my mom was like, "You better get this job." I was like, "Hey, isn't it illegal for me to work when I'm 8?" I don't know.
Wow, I didn't know you were forced into show business as a child.
Yeah,
or nearly forced into show business.
Yeah, but apparently that's illegal. I didn't know that.
No, it's like it's I don't know. It's different here. There's like the Coogan count stuff where your parent is like, if they're the ones getting into the business, they can only keep 10% of your money. That's that whole thing now.
Yeah. I didn't make any money to get 10%, so I think that's why my family abandoned me in the show business.
What was the commercial for when you were 8 years old? Do you remember?
It was for Wonder Bread.
Wow. How could you not book a Wonder Bread commercial?
I
Come on.
know. I mean, I literally look like a loaf of Wonder Bread.
You're the perfect type. I can see you with a lunch pail.
Yeah, and another one that I went on was it was like peanut butter and strawberry, all like jelly into the jar. I don't know what is that called.
I know. I forget what that was like a phase. I remember that phase when it was like all together. Like we need that. You know what I mean?
And I remember like when I went to an audition for this is why I'm terrible at auditions, because they said you put the spoon in it and you take a bite like you enjoy it. I'm like, okay. So I did it and I put it in my mouth and I thought this was the grossest thing I've ever tried.
Well, it always looked gross to me.
Yeah. So you started at 13 and then you started doing acting. What made you move to LA? Like, what was that?
Well, I had always wanted to do acting in film and TV. Film and TV had always been, my life since I was a little kid. And so when I was 17, I moved out here. I graduated high school a year early, and my mom moved out here with me and helped me sign for an apartment. And then I just was here and started working. So, and I was really grateful that I booked a movie role like within the first couple years called The Eating Out. It was called Eating Out, which led to a series. It's a gay comedy films for gay men, and they were really successful. So I was really grateful that I booked that when I first moved out here.
And they're not porno films.
Like they are, but they're not. If you are a straight man going to watch them to get turned on, you will definitely get the opposite of what you went there for. They are comedies for everybody, but they were made primarily for gay men.
Yeah. And so when did you start your stand-up comedy adventures? Was this when you were doing those Eating Out films?
No, comedy was something I always wanted to do. Like my little brother and I always watched comedy at like Premium Blend on Comedy Central from the time we were little kids and everything. Do you remember Premium Blend? Or maybe that was your
No, I remember your little brother. I love your little brother. He has Asperger's.
Yeah. He's super cool. So I always wanted to do it, but I just didn't know how. And I went to the Comedy Store one time alone, which was like super creepy. This was like before the Comedy Store got good again. I don't know if you were here when it was still just like Creep Town, like super, super gross and creepy before it kind of like now nothing's going on. But I mean, like There was sort of like a renaissance happening before COVID, made everything shut down again. But so I went to the Comedy Store one time and it was terrifying. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And then through someone, I wanted to take a comedy class, and someone recommended Dante, and here we are 13 years later.
Wow. So I got to take a comedy class to meet my soulmate, huh?
Yes, it is one way to do it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So you also tour with Dante too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, we were, yes.
Yeah. Before this all happened.
Right.
So like, how is like, because you're also which one do you prefer to do, acting or comedy?
Oh man. That's a good question. I always acted from the time I was a little kid, but I don't know. They're both different, and I love doing it. I like that comedy is just me, and it's something that I write and perform as myself to a live audience. I think there's nothing else like that. You know what I mean? Like acting in film can't compare to that, in my opinion. But I also love acting, and it's something I plan on doing forever. So, I plan on doing both. But yeah, I don't know if I like one more than the other, but I do feel that like that live audience is a really special thing that I really miss having, which I haven't had in like a year now,
Yeah. I did one of your guys' Zoom shows, and that was my only Zoom show I've ever done. And it was fun. Yeah, it was fun, but I was just like, at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, I really hope comedy comes back, because I don't know if I can make a career doing Zoom shows,
It's weird. I mean, I've been doing it nonstop since October now, because we've had this, and I also produced the Portland Comedy Festival with my producing partner, Brittany. So I'm like, it's old hat for me now, but it does take getting used to, because there is sometimes the whole audience mutes themselves, so you don't hear any laughter. Sometimes there's delayed response. It's and obviously you're doing it from your kitchen or wherever,
Yeah.
So there's that.
And then that's just always like hard, because like, what if you put on like a background that you don't know is your background, you know what I mean? And you're like, holy Lord, the whole time I've been like inside of a bad background,
Yeah, it's happened for sure.
So when you do comedy, you host all these, at least everyone I've ever been to, you've hosted these shows. What's that like? Like, do you like hosting better instead of headlining?
No, I mean, I have headlines, but I mean, I consider myself, I mean, I have headlines like C-level rooms. I wouldn't consider myself to be an A-room headliner. I aspire to be someday, but and that's just me being, totally honest. I don't know if anyone loves to host. I don't know, maybe some people do love to host. Hosting is a tough job, and it's a thankless job, because you're getting up to a cold crowd. They're not warmed up yet, you know what I mean? Like, they're not in the habit of laughing, and so it takes them a few minutes. Like, you have to take a lot of quote unquote bullets for the team when you host a comedy show. But I have heard people say that they do love it. But yeah, I always like to do it because it's a great experience. Like, you're gonna always get stronger if you're consistently hosting, because it's the hardest spot on the show. It just is.
Yeah. Fraser Smith is probably one of the best hosts in the world. Do you know Fraser?
Oh, absolutely. He's like, for sure, one of the probably top 10 best hosts on planet Earth, for sure.
Yeah. So like, I asked him if he wanted to headline once. He's like, no, I just want to host. I was like, all right. So he hosts and he does like 30 minutes hosting. Like, just right off I was like, he's so incredible. Like, that's how strong he is, So
incredible to do like 30 minutes just hosting right out of the gate. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think you actually are a A-list headliner.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just think COVID is not in your favor.
No, it's not. Well, it hasn't been in anyone's favor. You know what I mean? I know. We know comics that are out there and they're, on the road, but I'm like, I'm not going to risk my life. Not yet. I'm not risking my life to tell dick jokes to strangers. That's not where I am yet. You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't make sense for 30% capacity when it's like,
Right.
Okay, so that's probably 30% of the money that you would make originally, right?
Right. Exactly. It's, it's just not something I have, I'll do it when it's safe, and hopefully that'll be soon. I really hope that's going to be soon, because I miss performing in front of people, and as I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah. So, and then your dad lives with you guys now. So how cool is that?
My father lives with us. He has Alzheimer's. It really, really sucks. My dad and I are his full-time caregivers. What did I say? Oh, I said my dad and my husband and I take care of my dad. Dante's right over here now. He came in to say hi. My husband
hi,
and
Dante.
Keith says hi.
I'm in the studio. Hi, Keith.
So yeah, we take care of him. It's rough for sure. He still knows who we are, and he knows who he is, and he's not in diapers. So I'm really grateful for that. But it is scary, and it's a horrible disease. My heart breaks for anyone that's also going through this. Really, it's really rough.
Yeah. I think that's the least thing I'm looking forward to when I'm getting older is the Alzheimer's, because it's like, man, what if I just forget about interviewing everybody like Rebekah and Dante and
right. You're right. No, me too. Trust me, I worry about it as well, because it's just everything. Your whole life is just gone. I mean, like, for example, my father, like, he came into the room a couple nights ago and was holding a picture of a man, and he told me that it was my mother. And you just have to, I know. And the right response as a caregiver is you're never supposed to contradict them. You're always supposed to just agree and move on, like an improv, right? Like, that's what it's like with Alzheimer's. And so I was just like, oh yeah, there's my mom. She is a man with a mustache. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So but it's a constant roller coaster all the time. It's a crazy, crazy disease. And more and more people are getting it. I forget what the number is, but I mean, like, it's going to become a crisis in the country, the amount of people, because we're not, our healthcare infrastructure isn't set up for the amount of people that are going to need help for this specific issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I first heard about, because like Ronald Reagan got it, and it was so sad because like he didn't even remember being president, when like I remember watching something and they said, they weren't a big fan of his policies or whatever, but they asked him a president question and he's like, I don't even remember being in the office.
Right. It's so fucked up. Yeah, it's really, really fucked up. How awful. Yeah, that's a bummer if you make it to be president of the United States and then you don't remember that you're president of the United States.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, but and then you also have a lot of animals in your backyard that I see you guys post and stuff.
Well, I'm not. Yes, we have 2 rescue dogs that are perfect angels from heaven. I highly recommend everyone rescue. And we also have, my husband is very into turtles. We have lots of turtles in our yards, and they're
rescue.
Yes, we have a rescue. And there's lizards and stuff. So people that can't take care of their, a lot of people have had to move and haven't been able to take their turtles with them. And so we have inherited many turtles since COVID started, but they're really nice and they all have their own little individual personalities. I'm serious, they do. Yeah. So it's fun.
So like, did you guys name them after the Ninja Turtles or like?
That's exactly what my brother said. He's like, are you going to name them after the Ninja Turtle? We considered it, but we figured that might be too generic. So we passed on that idea.
Yeah. I always thought Dante would always be like another Ninja Turtle, like if there was 5, because there's Michelangelo, there is Leonardo.
Donatello, yeah.
So I think Dante got screwed with Donatello because, there's already a D, and then they settled for Casey Jones.
Huh. Casey Jones.
But yes, Dante would be another Ninja Turtle for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So right, you're also a writer. So you wrote for Fashion Police.
Yes, for Joan Rivers on Fashion Police.
So what was that like? Like, was that intimidating or?
Well, I only met her in person twice. And the second day was really cool. It was Dante and I, he was doing warm up for the show for the live audience. And I got to go and we got to spend like the whole afternoon with her, and she got to rehearse like jokes that I had written for her in front of me, and she let me hold her notebook. And so like, it was, honestly, like it was the most validating, magical day, one of the most magical days of my whole life, because like, what's more validating than one of your heroes, like hearing your heroes say a joke that you wrote, you know what I mean? And then using it on their TV show. Yeah. So I wish, my husband got to spend a lot more time with her. Like he saw her weekly for like over a year, you know what I mean? I came in at the end of all that before the writers went on strike, but I'm really happy that I got to write a lot. She told a lot of my jokes on TV, and I'm really grateful that I got to spend like that one afternoon with her.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. She's one comic I always wish I saw live, and I always regretted never going when she would be playing or whatever.
Yeah, no, I never saw her do comedy live, but I did get to watch a live taping of her show, and she was such a pro, even she's just one of the greatest of all time, really. Being able to say that she told some of my jokes is one of the greatest things of my life and always will be.
Now, who would you say that like influences your acting compared to influences your comedy? Like, because they're 2 different arts,
Influences my acting. I've never really thought about it too much. Because I've been doing it since I was a little kid, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, my husband is showing me some new microphone equipment. Too late if you would have started the interview.
Oh, it's fine. Earpiece.
Oh well. Next time I do the show, I'll have much better equipment.
Well, next time we're doing it in a studio, because
right, yeah. Next time I'll be in person with you.
Yeah, studios are way funner because if it's awkward or whatever, I usually have a snake cup and like Craig Ferguson. And I say, hey, I stole this from Craig Ferguson.
That's funny. You're a funny, funny man.
Yeah, because he had a snake cut. All right, moving on. But so no one influences you as an actress. What about as a comic?
As a comic, definitely Joan Rivers, Sarah Silverman, Wendy Liebman, Felicia Michaels. I love Amy Schumer. There's a lot of women that inspire me.
Yeah.
Or a lot of comics.
Yeah. Amy Schumer, like everyone is intimidated by her. Like when you're on shows and stuff, I would have to say, not to pat myself on the back, but I'm not. Like she did the Comedy Central roast of Charlie Sheen, and she shows up, and the improv said, "Oh, Keith, we can't let you on because it was like happy hour mic or whatever." And Amy Schumer wanted to do a set. And I was like, "Oh, I'll just go after her." And they're like, "Well, everyone will want to leave." I was like, "No, I'll do it." So she went, and I went on right after, and everyone stayed for me. And I was just like, "Hey, she's not that intimidating."
Well, I mean, no, that is brave. And just because you want to follow a celebrity too, it's always hard to follow a celebrity.
Yeah, I was just like, "Yeah, whatever." Well, see, I look at it as just following another comic, and like.
Well, that's how you should look at it, but it's tough.
Yeah. Who's the toughest comic you've ever had to follow?
Oh my God. Okay, I'll tell you. I know exactly who it is. This is so fucked up. So I had to follow. Okay, let me think. So I had to follow at the San Luis Obispo Comedy Festival. It was the Dirty Show, and I was headlining, and they had me follow Darren Carter, who's a really strong headliner, and not that, which I was fine with that, but Darren Carter is like first of all, he's effing hilarious, but he's like super loud, and he can make all these sound effects, and he has a flashlight, he's really active, and like, I'm not like that at all. You know what I mean? Like if I were the one producing the show, I would have put me and then him.
Yeah.
But that's not. And I knew as like he was closing out his set, I was like, man, this is not going to be, because it was also a super rowdy crowd. And I knew that like they weren't going to be down to go from like here then to an energy level that was like, more like back down here. And I bombed my patootie off really hard in front of like a large group of college kids in San Luis Obispo.
Wow.
Just bombed my pants off really hard. But I knew I was okay with it though. I was accepted. I was like, the set that I'm about to do is going to be terrible, but I'm going to go up there and I'm going to give it 100% because that's what you're supposed to do. But it was terrible for sure.
Do you ever think maybe you didn't bomb and you just start telling yourself that? Because like maybe you just killed and you felt so intimidated. You thought, because I'm like that too. Like I'll have a bad set. I'll be like, I bombed. And then Alan Lee will be like, oh no, you did better than me.
I know. I know comics were always, you're hilarious. By the way, what does your shirt say?
Mine?
I'm on a boat. Yeah, I'm on a boat.
It's on. Yeah, it's a Donald Duck.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's our next guest.
Yeah.
It is true.
Oh wow.
I would love to get Donald Duck.
We had the voice of Goofy. No, seriously.
He's name bragging again. Forgive him.
Well, he brought up Donald. You're the one who brought up Donald Duck.
Okay, so back to Rebekah's story.
Wait, what were we? You were asking me.
I was saying, what do you like? Do you think maybe it's just subconsciously that you feel that you bombed?
Maybe, but I mean, our brains are crazy, but I think I realized that I did not have a great set. Maybe it wasn't as full on as a bomb as I thought that it was, but I don't think it was a good set. But we do as comics though, always tell ourselves like, if we don't kill, I think as comics we're always like, that was a bad set. I had a bad set. You know what I mean? Even though it was probably just a fine set.
Do you ever get like irritated when like not irritated is probably the worst word, but do you ever get intimidated when like they say like, oh, managers and talent agents are going to the show today, like right before you go on, and you're like, holy, thanks for fucking telling me.
Before I was on this side of everything as well, when I was just talent, now that I own Golden Artists and we're on this side of it also, I don't think it would influence me as much now as before. Like I'm able to see things sort of in a different perspective now. But yes, before I started Golden Artists, yes, that's the worst. When you're about to go on stage and they're like, great news, CAA is here. And you're like, well, fuck, like now I'm really fucking nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what's advice for other comics in that shoes? Like when you and Dante go to a show, like what would you give them?
If we're there like scouting for talent, you mean?
Yeah.
Dante always gives this piece of advice because it is always true no matter what, and it's to have fun. Like if you're having fun, you're not going to have a bad set no matter what you're doing. Like no matter what art form you're doing, if you're having fun, you're going to be doing the best job possible. And as comics, though, that's so much easier said than done, because when you're up there, you want to have your best set and you want the audience to get the jokes the way they're meant to be received. And it's so hard to just relax and have fun, but that is the best advice to anyone for sure, is to just have fun and forget that there's industry there or whatever. Just go up, and because if you're having fun, you'll have a good set.
Yeah, I agree. I just get, because I saw this movie called Punchline with Tom Hanks, and they told him that industry was there, and he's like, oh, I got this, I'm like a professional comic, And then they're like, hey, Tom Hanks. And he's like, what? He's like, your family's here too. And he like freaked out on stage. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, no. When I cannot, like, I have always bombed in front of my mother. I cannot perform in front of my mom.
Yeah. I was like, holy Lord. It's actually easy performing in front of your parents if you don't tell them that's you. You just deny it. You know what I mean? You're like, oh no, that was another guy named Keith Reza who looks like your son. I was at work. Which is true. I don't know. So Rebekah, what are your plans like right now? Are you writing a script, or are you like writing for a special, or what's the deal?
So right now we are producing comedy specials, which has been challenging because of the current climate that we're in right now. We're potentially going to film in Las Vegas, depending on how their laws go. So that's exciting. We were going to shoot here originally, but we'll see how the whole thing pans out. So that's what I'm working on right now. Obviously, there's the U.S. Comedy Contest, which has been keeping us super busy for the past several months. And yeah, other than that, just building Golden Artists Entertainment. We have other festivals that we're hoping to be able to do the Portland Festival live. We did it on Zoom last year, but we're hoping this year too.
Yeah. And
Portland.
You also have a new Instagram show called The Golden Hour.
Yes, we do, where we go live every Wednesday from my Instagram page. And we've had great people on there. Yesterday we had WWE superstar Paul London, which is really cool. People were really excited about him being on the show, and Joey Medina. And the first week we had on Vicky Vox, who's a really big, she's a really big celebrity in the drag queen community. So that was really exciting. And next week we have Taryn Manning, who's been in a million huge movies. She was one of the stars of Orange is the New Black. So yeah, it's 6 p.m. on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Wednesday on my Instagram page. So
now,
check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how is it like for that? Like, do you find it easier hosting those shows, or do you think it's like a little challenging?
I love doing stuff like that, because when you're doing comedy, it's different because you are still performing in a way. But when you're interviewing people, it's nice because I feel like you can relax more and just be more of yourself. You know what I mean?
Especially if it's on your Instagram page. I should probably try that.
I like it. And it's really like yesterday Paul London started calling out these people. Like I've been in a lot of bad horror movies, right? And he was saying how he's auditioned for the same company and they've never cast him. And he started like calling out people by name from the asylum that like haven't casted him. And I was like, "Ooh, well, we're live. There's nothing you can do." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is sort of it's a fun element. It is. I've been enjoying it.
Now, when you say you've been in a lot of bad horror movies, do you think that that's just because like the genre? Because I take screenwriting, and I don't know a lot about the business since I'm probably one of your guys' worst clients. But I
You're
do know,
ridiculous. Don't say that. It's not true. Gosh.
but I do know that horror films are the cheapest to make and they're the easiest to sell.
Yes. Yes. For whatever reason, the horror genre never gets old internationally. Internationally, there's always a huge market for horror. Like the genre changes a little bit. Like sometimes vampires are in, sometimes zombies are in, you know. But yes, horror is always, always, always huge. But yeah, so you can make them for very low money. I mean, there's different levels of low budget too. I realize they get far more low budget than the ones I'm in, but I was in like true B horror movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get seen by millions of people. Like I have a huge fan base of horror fans, which is great. I'm really grateful for. It's a cool, loyal fan base.
Very cool.
Have you ever tried doing that TV show like Screams for Queens or whatever, where like, you know what I'm talking about?
I do. You know, it's so funny. No, I haven't done it, but one of my friends who I worked with in Hooters a million years ago was on it, and she won. Her name's Tanedra Howard. She's an actress. She's great.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord. Yeah. All right. And then the last question I have for you is, what was it like hosting the ATN Awards?
The AVN Awards?
Yeah. Is not what I said?
No, I think I don't know. Maybe you said AV. I heard AT, but I
meant AV. I meant AV.
There's also it's Hollywood, and there's people yelling outside. Yeah, it was.
I might have. I don't know. I gotta rewind, but let's just assume I said the right one.
Well, the right one. So it was quite an experience, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It was really, I mean, here's the thing. It was just like any other huge award show. Like the guy that directed it directs like the Emmys and the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. And it's just like any other big award show. It just happens to be porn, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have, you know, I was there. There were a lot of interviews they had me do leading up to the AVN Awards. And I developed a relationship with like my two co-stars, you know what I mean, that are both porn actresses. Actually, I don't even know if one of them still does it. That's the other crazy thing about porn is the turnover is so fast. Like the girls that I met that year, it's like, who knows where they are, what they're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting, and it really is just such a business. And those girls that are there are making a lot of money. I mean, like I saw girls there signing, you know, they had booths at the convention and long lines, and they're charging lots of money for these autographs. So I was like, good for them. You know what I mean? Make that money.
It's also like kind of cool how like in a show like that, because usually they bring comics to host it, you know, because I know Kate Quigley did it one year, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. They always have like a comic host, and then they have two porn people that are like there also, you know what I mean? That are like hosts with you. But yeah, I was the first time that they didn't cast like a huge A-list comic. Like before me, it was always like Robert Schimmel or Lisa Lampanelli or David Tell. Like I was the first time there was never like a super well-known comic that had done it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was I was really honored that they picked me. Oh, and that's a good story too. The guy who is now one of the heads of Showtime, Chris Beaver, he cast me to do this, and he saw me at a show at the Comedy Store that I for sure bombed. Like I bombed on that show. And that's how I got the AVN Awards.
So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes bombing is a blessing in disguise.
Let me tell you, yes, I bombed. And I remember I had like such a bad set at the Comedy Store. I was like, fuck this. Like I just wanted to get out of there. And this guy like came after me. He's like, I just want you to know that I thought you had a really, really great set. And I was like, whatever. Like I just thought it was some guy, you know, like coming on to me. And then 7 months later, I get a call from my agent. This guy was like, yeah, he said he saw you at this show at the Comedy Store like 7 months ago, and he, you know, told you in the parking lot that I was like this show that I bombed on. Like that's crazy, but yeah, sure enough, it was the show that I bombed on. So yeah, you really never know in Hollywood, I guess, is the moral of that story.
So I guess what we're saying is you should always bomb on the 8 o'clock shows in case there's people there, and then destroy on the 10 o'clock shows in case there's people there. Because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know someone's cup of tea.
Exactly. Sometimes people want to hire someone that bombs. So there you go.
Yeah. Like, that's why I get hired, because I bomb so much. I was like, I'm the best at bombing. Let me go first. Just ask Amy Schumer.
And speaking, I don't understand all the hate that Amy Schumer gets too. Like, I think she's talented and I enjoy her, and I think she seems like a nice person. I wish she wasn't trolled so hard on the interwebs. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not trying to troll her. I'm just
No, not at all. I didn't think you were at all.
Yeah, she was very nice to me. What I was just saying is I'm not afraid of her. Like, I was trying to say that in a nice romantic way and not in a douchebag way. But
that at all, and I don't think anyone else did either. And if they did, they took it the wrong way.
Well, Alan Lee, before we go, you got any last second questions for Rebekah?
Well, I tell you, I like what she said about, because I am a B picture guy. I love B pictures. I love film noir. I love B picture horror, and you know, the zombie thing that's out. You know, the zombie apocalypse. I love that. And so I applaud. In fact, I'd love to be in a B picture monster film. I'd love to get one. So good for her. I like that.
So what's the question?
There's lots of movies.
Well, the question is, it's not really a question. It's I'm just her opinion on that I agree with that opinion. I mean, I could ask her, God, what was it like to be on a horror show? Like, golly, but I don't want to do that question. You fucking mind? Dear God, you see what you don't realize? They say, why now are they so fucking quiet? I got these venues, you know. Well, folks, this is one example. No, I love this. I love this little fool here.
I will.
I swear to God, if anyone kidnaps you and puts you in diapers, you will be just queer bait for God.
Wow, that was an amazing statement. I want to see that in quotes.
He means it out of love. Trust me.
Sure, it's all in jest. It's all in jest.
I thought.
Well, see, I'm getting a laugh out of her. I'm so glad, because I know when I went over to the contest, they just said, "What the fuck is with this guy?" And I was depressed. I wasn't in the contest. I'm not doing anything. So there you go. I didn't mean to sob like this it's the end of the interview. I didn't want to. See, I was doing okay with the B picture thing, and that was it. Now he got me going to personal shit. Fuck. So,
I thought you were gonna ask. Now, Rebekah, if you ever need someone in your movies to die before you hire me. You know, like that would have been a good question.
You want to see me grovel, right? That's why I don't say a fucking thing sometimes. I'm sorry you had to hear this.
No problem.
It's all in jest.
I'll be just fine. I also love that Keith is drinking a Diet Pepsi, since he's always talking about drinking Diet Pepsi, and now I get to actually
that brand. I'm surprised.
Oh my God, I'm so addicted to Diet Pepsi. It's like
I know you talk about it all the time. How are they not sponsoring you? They should. I mean, God, what do they want?
I know they probably want me to lose a couple pounds before they sponsor me. They're like, hey, we don't want him to drink this. They're giving America a bad. No, we're trying to sell Diet Pepsi, not fucking. I'm like, but no, like they say the human body is made out of like 80% water and 10% blood and
5% diet
and 5% bone and 5% heart. My body's made out of 80% Diet Pepsi.
Well, you should drink some water. Your liver wants you to, and your kidneys.
Yeah, I know.
You tell them that all the time.
Well, Rebekah, where can the folks at home follow you?
Please follow me. I'm on everything. Just at my name, which is at Rebekah Kouchan. It's REBEKAHKOCHAN. I'm on that, same for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of the stuff. So please follow. And be sure to tune into, again, the U.S. Comedy Contest. We have a semi start tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to eventbrite.com for tickets. Woohoo!
Yes,
All right.
Fantastic. It's a fantastic show.
And they should follow you on Instagram too to check out the golden hour, right?
Yes, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be going live with new guests. And again, next week it's Taryn Manning, who she's huge. She's been in a million A-list things. If you don't tune in, you're crazy.
Yeah, and then like, not to spoil, but in 6 weeks it'll be Keith Reza, and he's the best at bombing, and he's sponsored by Diet Bombing Pepsi. I don't know.
Diet Pepsi, really, they really should. I mean, the amount of advertising you're giving Diet Pepsi.
I know. I was gonna mention the Ramones, but then I don't know. You like the Ramones?
Are you kidding me? Of course.
Of course.
I only like him because John Cusack likes him.
Oh, I love the Ramones are the bomb. Well, so's Cusack, so I guess that goes together.
I have a like, before we go, this is going to sound weird, but I have a strange obsession with John Cusack.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So, all right, just wanted to let you know.
I know. Believe you me.
All right, Rebekah. Well, thank you so much for doing it, and enjoy the show on the U.S. Comedy Contest. And who do you think is going to be the winner this year? Like, what's your money on?
I have no idea. There have been so many good people from all over the world. I have no idea. I don't want to name names. And also, I would love to see a female take the crown in the headliners division, because that's only happened one time before, but I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm not even going to put anyone's name out there, but personally, I'm hoping for a female victory in the headliners this year.
So Alan Lee, you don't have a good shot. She's
yeah, it's not your year. I don't get to vote, actually. I don't vote, so it doesn't matter what I think.
Don't get me going.
Well, thanks, Rebekah. Have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
Great talking
to you. Thank you so much. Great talking to both of you. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Of course, it was fun.
Thank you. I will see you soon, hopefully in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a great
show. We'll get Diet Pepsi. Yeah. All right, guys. That was the show. Rebekah. Yeah, that was a good show, wasn't it? That was awesome. Rebekah Kouchan, guys. All right, Alan Lee. I'm gonna give you a call, but I have to get ready for work. I'll call you on my way to work. You look fantastic.
Have a good night, my friend. You were fantastic as always, and
it was fun riffing with you today, man.
I really enjoyed Rebekah, and I got to talk to her a little bit more than normal when I've gone to the contests, and she's a really nice lady. I like her.
But it was fun riffing with you today, because I know, like, it's been a tough year for everyone, but like, it was nice riffing, you know what I mean? It was nice shooting the shit with my good friend Alan Lee.
As always.
All right, Alan. Subscribe, rate, and review to the show. Apple Podcast. Follow us. Reza Riffs.
Like.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Alan Lee.
Later.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.